Pop open a can of Pringles. Take out a chip. Now take another. They are identical down to the millimeter, aren't they? Not a single chipped edge, no greasy mess at the bottom of the can. And the strangest part, they don't look like a regular sliced potato at all. That's because, to create the most famous snack on the planet, the food industry didn't need a chef. They needed a chemist and some complex mathematical equations. Every year, over 2.3 billion cans of Pringles are consumed globally, fueling an empire worth over $3 billion. That is 73 cans produced every single second. But how did an idea that broke all the culinary rules of the 1960s manage to survive, crush the competition, and dominate the world to this day? In today's video, we are stepping inside the giant Pringles factories to discover exactly how this snack is created from scratch. And to meet the genius mind who invented a design so perfect, he requested his own ashes be buried inside a Pringles can. Stick around until the end, because what you are about to see will completely change the way you eat this snack forever. Let's travel back in time to the 1960s. The corporate giant Procter & Gamble was facing a crisis. Consumers were absolutely furious because traditional potato chip bags were full of air. The chips inside were crushed, inconsistently sized, and incredibly greasy. They needed a revolution. And instead of looking for a culinary expert, P&G hired Frederick Bauer, an organic chemist. Bauer locked himself in a lab for 2 years to find a crazy solution. Stop slicing fresh potatoes. Instead, he decided to deconstruct and rebuild them. But the real plot twist was the shape. Bauer used the supercomputers of the time to calculate a geometric shape called a hyperbolic paraboloid, which looks exactly like a horse saddle. This structure is a miracle of physical engineering. It prevents the chips from breaking under pressure, allows them to stack flawlessly, and creates a perfect aerodynamic crunch in your mouth. And to protect this masterpiece, the iconic aluminum-lined cylindrical tube was born. Launched in 1968, Pringles wasn't just a snack, it was a futuristic invention. This design was so brilliant that it has kept the brand thriving for over half a century. Frederick Bauer was so proud of his masterpiece that when he passed away in 2008, a portion of his ashes was placed inside an original Pringles can, fulfilling his dying wish. So how does this time machine operate in the modern world? Everything starts in the dirt. Monster harvesting machines with a 7-ton capacity constantly plow the fields. The potatoes are roughly sorted and loaded straight onto fleets of trucks heading to the manufacturing plant. Here the goal isn't to keep the potato intact, but to turn it into golden dust. Fresh potatoes are dumped into high-pressure water tanks, then fall into massive rotating drums lined with an abrasive material. As the drums spin, this rough surface acts like giant sandpaper, magically scrubbing away the peels. Next, high-speed centrifugal blades shred each potato in less than a second. This mixture is steam-cooked at 110 degrees Celsius for exactly 15 minutes, the golden number for complete starch gelatinization. The result? A massive, smooth block of mashed potatoes. This puree is rolled out over superheated cylinders, instantly evaporating the water without burning the starch. This thin film is then scraped off and crushed into ultralight, dehydrated potato flakes. This is the true soul of a Pringle. Now it's time for the chemical magic to truly begin. Inside room-sized industrial mixers, the potato flakes, making up about 42% of the recipe, are blended with rice flour, cornstarch, and water. This exact combination is the secret that keeps Pringles from ever getting greasy. The resulting mixture isn't liquid, but feels like moist sand, binding tightly together. It drops onto a conveyor belt and passes through a massive compression cylinder system. The immense pressure flattens the dough into an endless sheet, smooth, completely free of air bubbles, and exactly 1 millimeter thick. The next scene is incredibly satisfying. This endless dough sheet runs under a roller fitted with hundreds of metal cutting molds. Like synchronized stamps, they punch out thousands of oval discs with a precise diameter of 6.5 centimeters. The leftover dough is instantly collected and sent back to the starting line. Not a single gram of ingredient is wasted. Remember Frederick Bauer's saddle shape? This is where it takes form. The flat dough discs aren't just thrown randomly into a fryer. They are clamped onto specially designed curved metal molds and glide through boiling vegetable oil at over 170 degrees Celsius. The frying process takes exactly 11 seconds. Just enough time to lock in the crunch and turn the chip a golden brown without burning it. The moment they leave the fryer, air blowers blast away all the excess oil. And next comes the most mesmerizing room in the factory, the seasoning waterfall. As the Pringles glide along the belt, a continuous rain of seasoning powder cascades down. Here is a fun fact few people know. The seasoning is only applied to the top convex side of the chip. When you stack them, the seasoning on the top automatically rubs off onto the bottom of the chip above it, ensuring the flavor is perfectly distributed throughout the entire can. But wait, you didn't think Pringles only stuck to traditional salt, cheese, or sour cream and onion, did you? That is just the tip of the iceberg. To date, this empire has released over 100 different flavors globally. Because they use a perfect uniform dough base, a Pringles chip is like a blank canvas, ready for food engineers to paint on any crazy flavor humanly imaginable. Book a flight to Japan, the holy grail of limited editions. Your jaw will drop when you see cans of Pringles flavored like butter soy sauce squid, takoyaki octopus balls, or even expensive caviar. The Japanese also go crazy for traditional ramen-flavored Pringles, and it doesn't stop there. Over in the UK, the pink prawn cocktail flavor is an irreplaceable icon. In South Korea, the youth are obsessed with sweet caramel butter, while in Thailand, it's the explosive spicy tom yum. And the absolute peak of weirdness is when they launch taste bud challenging editions like cola-flavored blueberry yogurt or white chocolate peppermint Pringles for the holidays. Why do they do this? This localization strategy requires a massive investment in chemical research, but it creates an incredibly powerful psychological FOMO, or fear of missing out. Millions of people around the world have become Pringles hunters, willing to pay sky-high prices online just to own a limited edition empty can from another country. And after the craziest seasoning is applied, we reach the final stage of this giant machine. Thanks to the divine curved design, no human hands are needed to stack them. As the conveyor belt gently vibrates, gravity and the saddle shape automatically nest the chips into endless, perfectly aligned rows. Laser sensors scan the lines to reject any cracked chips. High-speed electronic scales precisely divide the exact amount of chips for each can, and with a swift mechanical push, they slide neatly into the legendary aluminum tube. A foil seal vacuum locks the can to trap the crunch, ready to be shipped across the globe. From a rough potato in the dirt to an engineering masterpiece packed inside a proud red can. Everything happens in just a matter of hours. A billion-dollar empire built not just on flavor, but on timeless mathematical equations. What about you? If you could invent your own Pringles flavor, what would it be? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this process visually satisfying, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to join me as we infiltrate the greatest factories in the world. See you in the next one.